Hello and welcome back to the Lily Pad Porch Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Brother Bullfrog, and I'm here to talk to y'all really about my pops being a black veteran. And that's a topic I think I've mentioned before in one of my podcast episodes, but I wanted to mention it and delve more into it because it's a conversation that requires me to walk finely with it. Because I have to first be aware of my father's involvement as a veteran and how that aids in a system that harms black people, but also understand the things that have come with it and what it's meant for my life, and also what it's taught me in a way. Because you can, gain experience even without having to go through things, learn from others. It's a very, wisdom? But it's something that I also understand that has impacted the way I was raised. My father's involvement as a police officer and military vet. And even in some ways, it may have even reinforced ideals of masculinity within me that I would come to realize don't apply to me. You get me? And I seen a FD Signifier video where he talks about how black cops typically will impose a higher likelihood of forceful action with perps and such. And my pops has even told stories where he's talked about where police officers will use that badge. They'll be like, yeah, we can fight. Got that badge on, I'll whip your ass. You're not gonna touch me. Niggas will be cocky with that shit on. I know y'all have seen videos of black cops. That take that badge off, be like, oh, we can fight. You had them turn you into an attack dog and you ready to hit on another nigga? Ain't got words for the white sergeant that calls you boy. That shit eat you up inside, don't it? But I first have to, because I've talked extensively with my pops. I care about him deeply. And so I don't want my relationship with my pops to be misconstrued, nor y'all commenting on it as if y'all know what's going on. Shut that shit up. What this conversation is for is the involvement of black people in government systems and what that means. Because some people could say that black politicians are sellouts. Black faces in high places don't mean anything, that they don't do anything. But there are times where people will take tools from, these white systems and use them for good. And so you could even view Christianity in the same lens. Granted, it still is a tool to control. A lot of religion is tools to control. But even if religion is a tool, it does not make it invalid. It means that it's up to people that follow to understand where their faith is coming from and who is providing that source of security. Because if you know that it is a God that provides that sense of security, and that is where your faith lies, of course. But some of y'all are being led by liars. And I'm not going to say who, but they love to wear red hats. They just love the color orange. They love it more on a nigga, too. I also want to do another podcast episode about how being black is the equivalent to being food. And I was going to make a series of artwork. I was going to do a podcast clip where, I'm drawing on the pod. I'm on, the YouTube joint where I'm drawing. But if you're on Spotify, you're not going to get that hack. You have to watch YouTube. But that won't be this episode. I'm still going to have to talk more about black cops. But also, if you have seen FD Signifier, then you know about him referencing black cops in media. And how that is just a way to kind of reinforce a different idea of masculinity on the black man. That the only way they can be men, that the only way they're allowed to be called a brother, a man, is to use their bodies and minds and allegiance to a system of justice. But the people who write these rules set it to where the only ones that don't follow it are the ones who wrote it. They've built this country and turned this prison colony into a massive game. And a lot of us were born with some shitty stats. I hope this camera's recorded. Let me check. And am I cutting this footage? Let me check. What are you talking about? Let me see it. Damn, little lamp ass nigga. Lights, camera, action. Lights, camera, action. Okay, it's not a distraction. I thought I had some beats for y'all, but I really didn't. That shit was doo-doo. Look, and I hope this motherfucker recording too. Is it on me? Good. I still look at Black Cops and I'm like, yeah, you a dog. And so it's like, how do I resonate those feelings with my pops and obviously his past? For one, I had to talk to my pops extensively. That's something we talk about a lot. It comes back often. How that has impacted his masculinity, how it's impacted his mental health, how that has impacted me and how he's raised me. Duh. It's kind of like the conundrum with a lot of white folks. The issue isn't that you were born white. The issue is that you are aware enough of the systems at play, but you use your ignorance as a means of not having to change yourself or your situation or your accommodations. Because it's far more easy for you to look away than to give up white privilege. And it's kind of like, in this case with Black Cops, it's easier for you to just aid and abet the systems that oppress your people because it uplifts solely you, knowing that you now have to enforce that same suffering, that same misfortune onto your folk that you are escaping by entering the system. And then it's like you're not even using the skill to help the community. Because, I mean, there's been times where, like, a Black cop would be the bridge between you and a life or death situation. Sometimes it's like, I mean, I still would rather it be a nigga. Like, I don't want to choose that evil. I'm going to look down on you while you're whooping my ass. But, I mean, you might beat me to death before you shoot me 30 times. And that's not even a joke. That's not even a joke. What Memphis police did, it's... I'm not butchering your name. I'm pretty sure that was Tyree Nichols. The man got the same body weight size ratio as me. 5 niggas beat him to death. Didn't shoot him. Just beat him to death. I think they calculated the weight of all 5 officers was like 2,000 pounds. On a body that's like 140, 160 pounds on a slim frame. If that was me and 4 niggas jumped me like that, I'd die. So, of course, I'm looking at Black Cops and I'm like, well, this is barbaric. You think that asserting force is more masculine and you use this position to abuse that sort of thing. And so that's why in this moment, you have Black officers beating niggas to death, not shooting you 6 times from a distance. And I was reading Malcolm X on Afro-American history, and he talks about how, you know, before them white folks gained access to gunpowder to make guns, they could not touch niggas with blades. We were skilled with bladed weaponry. It takes a heart to come in close and kill an enemy. Killing for defense, for food. These niggas obtain guns and start killing from far away. Anybody can shoot somebody from a distance and not have to look at them. And that's what y'all love to do. It's these old white dudes come to their door with their shotgun trying to shoot somebody because they came to the wrong house. It happens. It's always some old crusty white motherfucker too. Shit, it pissed me off when I read it, and it's like, nigga went to the wrong house and dies. Whether it happened to Uber Eats drivers or older siblings. My fault, I'm going on the tangent. Supposed to be talking about Black Cops. But you understand the sentiment. You're giving men that find power and assurance in abusing and enforcing their will on others, using such weaponry, such brutal displays. And so the Black Cop is a contradiction, but it's also a helpful way at looking at how conforming in a society will not only warp somebody into a monster, but can cause divisions and schisms in the mind. Because this system works on contradictions that are meant to suppress people's souls and leave us utterly confused. Because on one hand, the way they was treating Black folks, we were supposed to be the most feminine of races. But then we're also the most masculinized, supposed to be forced into these roles of, we're assumed to be lazy, but we're the violent, brutish ones somehow as well. The niggas don't like to work, but they sure do love to steal. Okay, that doesn't make sense. A nigga not too lazy to steal or something? What? This system operates on contradictions, and it wants you to not realize how many are overlapping. And it's so strange to like look at the new policies that like Trump and such as like bumping out, bringing back segregation. No more Black people in the Marines, nor transgender people in the Army to serve for the U.S. Army. And I mean, it's like, are you What are you doing? Look. It's already enough that you white folks played aliens and won too many nations and built your heaven, your utopias on other people's land, and enslaved an entire civilization of people that had their own thing going. Whole civilizations, whole societies, whole networks. Just top of all that, took them and used them to build your heavens. But now you're watching as another foreign invader comes and does the exact same thing to you. And you flail and you stand in place? Hey, if you get your white ass up and do something about it. Because let it been niggas on that January 6th. Y'all have pissed yourselves. Y'all would have used that to sweep the neighborhoods, get all us out of there. Shit. Let it be niggas at the Capitol. Every hood would have been, everybody in jails, niggas eating up, gone. They would have had their white utopia quick. I wish there was another camera right here so I could, because that wasn't powerful enough. But now we're watching as the grip of the society kind of squeezes on us. You know, maybe they'll increase surveillance. They'll increase the militarization of police. They want niggas scared. They want people to organize themselves so that they don't have to do as much work in conquering us. No. Typically when you're sick, maybe you could let your antibodies fight it off. Or you could go get some medicine. You know what I'm saying? That might actually not have been a perfect analogy. I'm not a doctor. Shit. That nigga strange, though. Can't lie. Next page. Another issue with black cops is they are like they aren't a pillar of black excellence, but they're typically a branch of that tree. You get me? Because like typically a lot of men that end up with, a lot of black men that end up with riches, well, not a lot of them, but some of them are typically men that have served in the military or have done some sort of police work. Even though oftentimes black cops, black veterans are shafted. I mean, constantly they got black bodies fighting wars, but you'll come back home and still call the boy. Man, I ain't gonna lie. You not about to have me in no moist ass jungle, sweat up the booty crack. Socks ain't been changed in 6 days. I come home and there's a white boy calling me nigger. I spit in that nigga face, and now I take that lynching like a real nigga. That cause a psychotic break in anybody. And yet for decades, niggas is having to take that shit to the chin and keep living, despite. And with such a nature now occurring where it's like Trump is like splitting this country up, but also trying to benefit out. It's so strange. Like the plan is clear, but it's also very unclear because it's like, I know what you're doing technically, but all these distractions is pointless. But it's gonna work on the niggas that's not seeing. And so it's like, truly, okay, let's say you know, now that you have rolled back the segregation shit and niggas actually try to enforce it. You're not finna do no, what's that shit called? The Secret Service? Not Secret Service. A nigga stupid. It's the Selective Service, I think. It's not a draft, it's more like a reserve for if a country really needed a surplus of men to serve. You know, after a certain age, you're supposed to be on that record. My black ass ain't going nowhere. Nigga not going to no Israel. A nigga not going to no China. I'm sorry, you fight your own war. What, you gonna throw me in jail? Y'all was finna do that anyway. Y'all want me to go there so bad anyway. I already seen what y'all did to my pops. Y'all will treat a dead veteran better than an alive one. What? Like, let's truly unpack that. Y'all will give all these dead veterans flowers, medals, commemorances, moments of silence. And then all the ones that are alive don't get enough VA benefits. They're being lied to. They're being told that their injuries, they're suffering. It's not the government's fault. And we can honestly look, and we don't even talk about the normalization of the women just being assaulted in the military. Like, and I have a TikTok mutual. Their name is Zero. They talked about it. And they mentioned how it's like an open, not secret, but it's like it's a known thing. The U.S. doesn't care about its veterans. My pops even mentioned it. It's a brainwashing process. It's a breakdown of people. Into what? A soldier. Because not a man. And it's an odd phenomenon because it's not only breaking down your mind, but it breaks down even social barriers as well. Because the way my father describes it is you act as almost a collective unit. You're a band of brothers. Color doesn't matter, whether you're black, white, yellow, red, purple, you know, the shit that them niggas be saying. No matter what color you are, you're brothers, you fight for each other. And so you have the breaking down of even social ideas, race. And you make a collective hive mind of people that you've molded into killing machines. And then they come home after all that damage is done to do what? You barely give them any of them good accommodations. A lot of veterans be homeless or in jail. Come home, can't even celebrate the 4th of July because they're scared of the fucking fireworks. And what about the terrorist attack in New Orleans? That was a U.S. veteran. Y'all will make these men into the very things that you swear are a danger to our society. You leave a traumatized man to his own devices. He feels shunned from the world, the government that he just served, and he's going, yeah, I'm about to blow them up. What do you think's going to happen? And instead of fixing that, y'all just act like it's, oh, he had a bad day, he mentally, blame some other shit. They try to make it seem like the guy was like a Muslim terrorist. Brother. Praise to Allah, God, or Buddha, it don't matter. The issue is that not only did y'all go into that man's house and it's just a Quran open on the table. That's not how that looked. That's not how that nigga's crib looked before y'all entered. Y'all set that bullshit up. The bigger issue here is America doesn't care about its people, and we're arguing over who cares the most. When clearly, if them niggas can go fight wars, can shed their black ass blood for nothing, they don't give a damn about us. And the people is what make this country run. It's like, damn, was I born to be an employee of the United States of America? That's it. I just go to school and then I turn 18 to put a uniform on for the country. This shit's depressing. But I also don't want to undermine the fact that there are people that have served the military because it brought them better economic security. And would I say that was the case for my father? I mean, contextually, my folks grew up further south. Like, already, we in Mississippi. Duh. But it wasn't a lot of shit where my folks is from. Like, you ever heard of a fucking food desert? There's not a lot of places to work. So military, of course, would have been a decent option for a nigga that don't want to work at like a gas station or a fast food restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So, on the other hand, I can understand because, like, especially when, like, services are limited, opportunities are limited, niggas is going to venture out. But now it's a matter of what do you do with that when you come back? Do you just kind of save yourself? Do you give tools to your folks? Do you improve the community you came from? Or do you use that to forever serve a white imperialist nation? And so that kind of where it typically falls, but you got to understand. You ask them veterans yourselves, they'll just straight tell you, yeah, that's just brainwashing. That shit, they have you waking up ass crack of dawn. And if your bed wasn't made right, 500 lashes. Yeah! Contraband in your room, bud, we're going to hang you upside down and bury you like you're in hell. I mean, I'm not saying they do that, but shit. The way my pops talk about military, you know, they got that pen and shit. They'll ram that motherfucker in your chest. That's not honorable. Gang, that hurts. I don't care if you did put me through 40 years of hell in boot camp. I'm going to cry. I'm going to weep. There's microplastic and aluminum in my ribcage. Puncture my lung. You think this shit funny? I'm going to show you a real bad day. You know, words spoken by a real nigga was, I'll sooner serve crack before I serve this country. But the crazy thing is, even if you did both, you'd still be serving the country. Because niggas is at the bottom of the rung of the ladder always. So I guess I'd rather serve the people before I serve crack or the military. I guess that's a better way to say it. But I do think it's odd that, like, I saw, like, Tim Walls doing, I don't know if it was stand-up or just some seminar or some shit where he's talking to a group of people, you know, one of those meeting things. And he's telling a joke about, you know, the current state of the Republican Party. I forgot the joke. I'm not gonna lie. The joke don't matter. I'm just kind of sitting here like, why are you up on stage talking to these people like you don't have a direct line with, like, the party that's supposed to be opposing them? What? You on stage telling jokes and shit, bro. And then I'm looking at the comments, I'm like, oh, Tim's so funny. Tim's so wise. Gang. Y'all were talking about how we were going to be taken over by a fascist regime. You over here clowning and joking. No, you said this is a serious matter. You talking about stand up and making... No, that's just for the artists. You a politician. You white folks made politics y'all's lifestyles. Go live that style, buddy. And on stage telling jokes. I mean, that's not as bad as when I saw the photos of niggas holding up signs and shit or wearing all pink. Y'all want to be y'all want to be niggas so bad. Y'all want to hold signs and hold rallies. You're in the building with them niggas. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Oh, brother. Man. Hold on. I got to text my mans back. But that man should have picked up the ringer when I had him. Look, bro. I don't even remember what I was talking about. And I was probably talking about some dumb shit anyway. Crazy enough, I was a Boy Scout at one point in time. I was a Boy Scout from first grade to 7th grade, I think. Basically, once COVID happened, that shit stopped. That was over. But my pops wanted me to be a Boy Scout so I could be resourceful and shit, and, you know, have a better opportunity in life with, like, job applications and shit. Because, you know, a job is more likely to turn me into a manager if I got, you know, Eagle Scout on my resume. I ain't no Eagle Scout. Don't ask me how to tie a knot. I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember shit. And the experience was authentic, but I didn't like it. I complained the entire time. I think the only thing I liked about it was the one time I got to wood carve and I think that's it. That's it. Because I think Boy Scouts, they're supposed to sell like a version of, they don't sell cookies, they sell popcorn. We never did that. Matter of fact, I don't even know what the stuff tastes like. I've never had it for myself. And I love popcorn. I'm a big fan of popcorn. Like, that's not even like a sarcastic thing. Like, I take down a bag, bucket, box, popcorn. Easy. I hate the kernels in my teeth, but I eat it. You know, to be honest. But that overall experience was odd because it puts me in a scenario where you're not going to be of many black people in a space. And I remember this one interaction I had where I seen this white dude have a Confederate flag on his phone as a wallpaper. And I looked at him and I'm like, yo, Matthew, what the fuck? I'm like, bro, what is this? And he's like, it's my culture. It's my heritage. Now, I was young, so it's like I couldn't press him like I would now. But even then, I'm looking at him like, dude, that didn't make sense. Like, we're talking about a flag flown by niggas that enslaved people. What do you mean heritage? Did you own? So like, first of all, you having that flag either means you own slaves or you wanted to own slaves real bad. And I don't really know which is worse. Like, I'm so dead ass. And people like to, and I know people are probably going to be coming in here like, oh, well, you live in the South, that's why everybody's racist. Look, racism is everywhere. The issue is more of, since I still do equate the black experience to being like food, it's kind of like, these niggas is just used to used to niggas walking around them. They used to the company of black people. They just don't want them to be, they don't want them to be better off. But them folks in the North, they don't care if black niggas is doing good. They just don't want them here. Get out. This ain't for you. This is our place. We left the poor niggas down there. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. I don't care if you're in Timbuktu living the life. You're a black ass shit. I shouldn't see you from my backyard window. Especially dancing it up. Harlem Renaissance it here. No. This mic is sensitive. I gotta listen to this audio back, and if it don't work, we're in trouble. Double. But being in the South has made me more aware of the fact that shit's fucked. Like, niggas down here be full display ignorant. And I don't mean that as in like everybody in the South is dumb. But niggas don't have to check themselves if they're right. You get what I'm saying? Niggas talk. I think it's not even about being correct. It's about the conviction in the voice. Posture, loudness. They don't give a damn how smart you is. Do you know how to talk? Because right now you're flapping your gums at me and I ain't hearing a word. That's how it is. And people be like, oh, you can't be violent, but like, you have to put your hands on some of these people when they talk to you crazy. Cause it's like, it's really like a life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what type of white person you're gonna get, genuinely. Cause they open their mouth and they say anything. Sometimes it's like, okay, you probably voted for Trump, but you wouldn't call me no nigga in real life. So I'm not gonna fuck with you, but I don't have to be on my guard around you. You too scary to be a racist. You like, I still don't like you, but like you won't try to eat me while I'm here. But shit, some of the folks down here, they'll be so blatantly racist, they'll think that shit is funny. And it's such a surreal feeling too, like, cause you got black cops that exist down here, but then you also, it's a state. This is an area known for its vast racism. Like, can you only imagine like the encounters a black cop has with white people? Cause like one moment you pulling over an officer, this nigga's calling you buddy, and you gotta eat that shit up. Next moment you come across a nigga that look like your cousin. You slamming him on the hood of his car, making him look like a bitch. Well, damn. Matter of fact, maybe I should correct my terminology. Maybe not look like a bitch, but that black police officer's bitch. Yeah, his, specifically, for him. Anytime I see him, they got this bravado about them. As if they've accomplished it, they've cracked the code. Yeah, I assimilated into the system and I reap the benefits of the reward. Buddy, stand down. Why are you proud? You didn't make an honest living. You survived hell and still grew horns. You didn't learn a thing. The shit's fucked. And there be some cool ass black characters, and they be cops in the media. That's what's so wild. You have niggas like Dokes and Dexter. You have, does Black Dynamite count as he's not a cop though. If anything, Black Dynamite's just like a I don't think Black Time counts as a cop. Why can I not think of more black cops? They're like infinite. The nigga from what's that shit called? How to Eat Meat. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah, that one. Samuel L. Jackson, he definitely played a black cop. Jimmy Fox definitely played a black cop. Chris Rock played a black cop in Saw. And I think Samuel L. Jackson was his daddy in that one. If it's a different nigga, I'm gonna be embarrassed. All you niggas look the same. That's fucked up. It's hard for me to still talk to a black cop and not be weird about it. Because like at the one hand, I still have to understand the nuance of this. Because when it's just me and a black cop talking, obviously we're in a vacuum. But in your mind, you blue before you're black. And in my mind, I'm looking at you as a black man. And so it's like, I could sit here and be like, well, I mean, you a nigga, but I don't know how you seeing this. Are you trying to prove yourself? Are you one of these bravado ass niggas? Or is you somebody that put on a badge because you thought you was going to be a hero? I just don't know. Half the niggas that be showing up to these enforcement positions don't care about justice. They want payment and they want power that secures the ego. So the justice they enforce is very brutal. And it's always very rigid. But it never applies to them. Because they're an agent of that justice. They're consequence personified. That's dangerous. Kind of reminds me of that Boondocks clip where it's Catcher Freeman. He's on the chain and shit swinging from trees. That's kind of how it is. They got you as an attack dog. And I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't want to run from the police, but you pull that dog out, I am leaving. And I know he's gonna catch me and maul me alive, but I'm not doing it. Matter of fact, I might have to go up a tree like a real monkey. Because get that dog away from me. You don't need him. I'm not John Coffey from the Green Mile. Look at me. I'm this frame. A cop stick a dog on me. Damn. I don't even want to see how that turned out. That's cruel. That's a cruel and unusual punishment. I think it's so strange that people's morality is only based on things that are not transcribed, things that are written down. You know, oh, this is in the Constitution and you're, violating that. This is a violation of the Bible, it's a sin. And so it's like, I do agree sometimes things have to be written down because niggas get careless, niggas get stupid, niggas get forgetful. But it's like, sometimes shit shouldn't have to be written down for you to understand things. You get me? And so it's like, I'm not fearful, but definitely wary of niggas that only operate because something's written down that says you can't do that. Because it's like, what are you loyal to? A word? I thought the topic of a black cop would have more substance. I'm actually quite more excited. Excited to make some art. I'm not gonna lie. I might change this portion over to the drawing portion so I can plan my drawings for not the art sale, because I'm supposed to have like an art sale for school or something, but I can't sell pro-black cryptic art at a place in Mississippi. The audience would not be people like me. I should paint magnolias or something, not gruesome imagery. Even though I'm not gonna lie, that's where I thrive, making weird, surreal shit. Y'all go watch me make some surreal shit. But if you on the Spotify, that's actually all for you. I'll see y'all very, very soon. So thank you, Tadpoles, for listening to the Croaks on this Lily Pad Porch Chat. I'll talk to y'all later. It's time for me and you to get involved. See, this is the part I can't put on the Spotify because clearly it's very visual. But this table is an ancient relic at this point. Like, I've sat eating here. I was watching One Piece right here. This table done been through everything with me, bro. I can't get rid of it, but at some point I got to. Oh, no, it's still sturdy. Hold on, he crazy. But what y'all are gonna help me do is plan my next piece, I guess. And at some point in time, I do want to do another like sketchbook tour of this one, because this one has a lot of interesting shit in it. This is a tight space. But what I have going on currently in my art class is like I got a project going, right? And so we're supposed to design cars. And I had like different faces. You know, it's supposed to be 3 different designs. And then like 2 different color schemes for each. So in total, you got 6. You get me? And so I already got the first one. I think I might have already posted it. So that means you got to follow my Instagram because I did post it there. But the other one, I just made it today. And it turned out better than the last one. And it kind of annoyed me because I'm like, fuck. The first one was good and I made this one better. And I'm not even saying that to like, you know, pat my own dread or nothing, but like, come on. You get me? Like, I'd improve. But that's because, like, even though I know a lot of y'all don't be seeing, like, when I be drawing, or, like, even my art on my socials sometimes, I draw every day. And I mean that genuinely. I'm talking about there's rarely a day I don't draw. And it's not even that I force myself to. It's like an urge at this point. It's become something I almost crave to do. It's like when people, like, itch for a cigarette. It's like, oh, I got to draw. And there's certain times where, like, I'll speak to people and, like, they'll say things that just kind of get my brain fired up. And so it's like, I'll just start seeing, like, images or concepts, and I'm like, that'll look crazy. But how would I do it? How do I turn this string of blurry imagery into, like, an actual image? And then I'll decipher what it means and how to tweak that from there. Like, I've looked at some of my older artwork, and I'm like, I didn't realize what this meant until just now looking at it. Like, there's a piece I made my sophomore year of high school, and it even won like an award in a contest. It was like, I think best of show or something. I've been in a few like art contests, but nothing crazy. I usually get like an honorable mention. Like, in those, I'm not that good. That's because like I'm in art competitions with painters as an illustrator. And so it's like, on a technical level, this is impressive. You know, you got your foreshortening, you got your vibrant colors, and this is a very interesting concept. But this painting shit is elite. And I can't even be that mad because I ain't gonna lie. That's why I was trying to get started on painting, because I'm like, if I get started on that, bro, if I get cracked at painting, brother, y'all not gonna be hearing from me. Fuck the Picassos. No, just fuck him, actually. Fuck him. But forget all your Renaissance, man. Forget your romance, man. It's me now. Forget Walter Anderson. Forget Jacob Lawrence. Henry Ossawa Tanner. Forget him. It's me. Let me pick up that brush and get crazy. But I think I want to do like a massive smile for this one. Now, crazy enough, I feel like all the people that I draw, like in terms of facial expressions, look black. And it's because like I always make sure to draw them with full lips and a wide nose. And so sometimes my drawings will just look like me. And I noticed that in other artists where like you can see the way they draw characters and it looks like them. Okay, so y'all can see, but I'm gonna zoom in. How's that, chatty? I might have to move the lamp around, but I don't even think it's like that goated. Is it? It is? There. Because like, and one of the cards, the face is like in agony. It has an open mouth. You see the tongue, you see the uvula, and you see the teeth in a different row. And then there's another one where I think the mouth has like a sorrowful, scornful scowl. And there's roses in the eyes. The other one has sparkles. Like, in concept, that's what these things look like. I could show you these, and you'd realize that these sketches I just did look scarily accurate to what I just drew. And y'all gonna realize, even just the way you sketch will start to look so calculated. I mean, it is, but like you'll realize that with just a few lines, you've put down the concept you needed in the first place. Once you like understand that the I guess the markers of what the image possesses the most, that's what matters. Like when you break down the shape of like a bear or something, and I can't even draw animals, but like you most notably draw with a big body, legs, and then like boom, bear. I mean that's bad, but like you get me. I just head, back, legs. And so the essential concepts I already have are, you know, a notable grinning expression, a frown, and then something in the eyes. And so for my third piece that I haven't actually started, that I have to do other color alternates for, I was going to like put crystals in the eyes. And this would be in reference to like two other pieces I made a while ago. I think I made those also in my sophomore year of high school. I guess like, you know, as an artist, you're going to have like different peaks and valleys, like peaks and lows. Especially like when you're not as in tune with your art. I'm not saying it's a constant uphill battle, but like it's gonna have some whoops, but it's still an uphill battle. You get what I'm saying? Like it still goes up. But I was turning out some pretty decent shit, and I wasn't even appreciative of it because I wasn't. I don't know. I didn't appreciate my art enough back then. Like I knew it was decent, but like I just couldn't get it right. But I was gonna put gems in the eyes and have like a massive grin, maybe even with some grills, but I think that may be too much. But I feel like this sketch works, but it would work better if it was like a grin that like extends off the jaw. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it comes out. Like it really comes out. Like I'm bad when it comes to like drawing chins and shit. That's why I had to study skulls in the first place. Got the eyes. There. If I do a grill, then I could put a sparkle in the tooth, but I feel like it would be too close to the sparkles in the one of the images I already have. So I'll just keep the gems, but I could put a diamond in the mouth, since the other ones kind of have their own thing going on. Like the flower one also has tears, so like that's a cool addition. But you want the open mouth? It's just kind of you can tell that was the first one I made. Have the kind of gems come out like that. There's this series of drawings I want to do, or maybe even paintings, if I could paint really good, that I want to do. And they're in my head, I just haven't gotten them out yet. Like, I gotta plot them for real. Like, I gotta like really sit down and think on them. But here's how these crystals will look. Eyes like diamonds. Look at them. I think this might be the concept I go for. Yeah. And the eyebrows are a nice touch too. And then there's like an aura around each of them that is very different amongst them. It's kind of like I don't know. Cause like the other one, like the flower one has like petal patterns. And then like the sparkly eye guy kind of has ripples. So I guess, I don't know. Scales? But that's too close to the petals. A grid? Kind of like, ooh. But nah, I want it to like radiate from them. What if his is more explosive? Like bubbles, kind of. Or like a thought bubble. I guess like with how I draw, there was a lot of lines. You'll see people and they're like finesse a drawing, they're like ooh 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 ooh, and I'm using hella lines. I'll layer the hell out of some lines just to like add some depth and shadow. And I don't even care that there's space in between. And I don't know if people are like, yeah, this looks amateur, or if people are like, I kind of fuck with it. Like, I feel like it definitely depends on if you just fuck with the art or if you just fuck with me as a person. Because, like, even I look at it sometimes like, yeah, you need to clean this up. Like, sometimes the scribbles weren't planned. You just didn't know what you were doing. And you can tell, like, when some of my sketches, when I freehand them, the areas with the most lines, yeah, I'm trying to get out that. I'm struggling. I'm telling you, it'd be an awkward endeavor on the pages. But the pages really be how I organize my thoughts. I mean, because if I'm not drawing, I'm probably going to talk to myself. If I'm not drawing or talking to myself, I'll probably write it down at this point. I do a lot more writing and reading now than I ever have in school. It's strange, though. And I don't know why. I mean, I know why. I guess because I realize it's actually a very healthy thing to do, and that's why they're kind of like, especially in like the current time of the politics that we have now, they gutting education, and people would be like, oh, well, the Department of Education test scores have been on the low since, ever since they were implemented. But it's like, they're basically about to cut like disability funding and like Pell Grants. So like the thing you're complaining about, that's not going to fix test scores. Your kids are going to get dumber. They're even changing the way they teach them how to read. And so I worry about the future of this country. And I also worry about how freedom of speech is going to be used against the American public. It makes me deeply afraid. But at the same time, why would I want to live in a nation where I can't speak? I had dreams of becoming an artist and showing people what I had in my head and in my heart. And to live in a nation that wouldn't allow me to do that, that's not psychological torture. That's spiritual torture. You put my soul through the ringer to tell me I can't do that. For what? Just because some guy with more money than he deserves said so? I don't agree. And while on one hand, I have to be hopeful to live, I know for certain people are going to see some dark times. And many still will be allied with the force that will lay them waste. I ain't gonna lie. Hold on. But here, that might be a better angle. You might have. I did some off-screen drawing. Some off-screen drawing. I don't know if anybody fucks with socks like I do. Because to keep it 100, if I get socks as a gift, I'm cherishing the socks. Like, I got like 2 packs of socks for Valentine's Day. Bro, that was a godsend. Thank you. Because, bro, I'm walking around, missing the sock. The sock's different. You start walking around, you like, damn, my foot wet or something? Take your foot out the shoe, bro. You got a hole in your sock, so your sweaty foot just touching the bottom of the shoe. And so now it's a sensory nightmare because it's like, bro, my foot is touching the inside of the shoe and it's definitely sweaty, and it's getting more sweaty because I realized I got a hole in my sock and now I'm a little embarrassed. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, that's lame. I hate that. But having more socks is a good go. Like, I used to think that like having different types of socks was kind of corny. Like, damn, nigga, you child. But honestly, socks with like characters and shit on them, or just interesting patterns on them, I'd be fucking with it. Cause I'll have like an outfit that's like a graphic tee, sweats, or like PJ pants, and then like some type of colorful sock. And I'm like, yeah, even though this shit looks stupid, this is my customizable fit. Like, this is my customizable character fit. This is the role this nigga plays, bro. I don't know. That's how I feel. But like I usually ask y'all, oh yeah, by the way, I have a Patreon. So like if y'all want to like pitch in and such, or just support, you can join that. There's like $1 tiers and stuff. So you don't have to like add anything to it. But if you like to support, it just kind of shows me like where people are at. You get me? And I don't upload on it as much as I could, because it is kind of difficult to get a lot of content out. But good news is the next chapter of Eat Kings is almost done. So like it'll be out soon. Yeah, I think I'm messing with it. If I put some color on it, it'll make a lot more sense, because you may not see it as clear as I do. Or maybe when you zoom it out, squint, it'll look a lot more cleaner once I actually draw it. I just had to put it down. You get me? Let me see. Do the third E. This look hard. Actually, not only do I have a Patreon, y'all can read the E Kings comic on Webtoon. Like, it's free. And I know it took a minute for this chapter to come out. That's because I was also like having to figure shit out. But also because I bit off more than I could chew. I was like, let's make this next chapter 50 pages. Start 50 pages, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is a lot. And I was gonna stick with it for a minute until I realized if I try to do 50, if I try to make this one larger thing, it'll be cool. But let's be honest, it'll take me longer. Let me just do the half, put that out, do the other half. Since it's technically two different stories anyway. You get me? But I hope even with the time that it takes to come out and how it delivers, that y'all enjoy the story. Because I'm getting better at like studying stories and how scenes are supposed to work, and just with visual storytelling, so that people aren't disappointed. But I feel like it's not as funny as it could be. I guess I gotta like start understanding like how to place comedy within a story instead of just two dudes laughing. Like, that's not always it's funny, I can't lie. Like, I watch a podcast and they'll get to laughing and I just get to laughing with them. I might not even fully know what they laughing about, but I'm just like, yeah, this shit funny, bro. But a comic of just two niggas laughing, that might be funny for real. But if I had to describe Eat Kings, or at least my vision for it, I'd say it's more accurate to like a JoJo's, but like with a predominantly black cast. And it's not that I'm trying to be JoJo's, but it's just like all the things I want to do with it. It gets weird like that. JoJo's really showed me I can do what I want with a story, and people will fuck with it if you commit to it. Like, let me do it. Let me show y'all some weird shit. Let me show y'all how surreal it is to be black, but in the form of a Western anime comic. Why not? It started off as just like a what if in my head. I was like, what if I did that? What if I did it? And then I did it. And then I did it more. And then each time it didn't get reception, I just made it better. And it's like, you would think that like with the little traction it gets sometimes, I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. Like, oh, I should stop. But I wasn't really doing it for like attention. I mean, yeah, I want people to see it, but I was enjoying making it because like I wanted to see these things that was in my head, like make it real. To see my characters do shit that I like daydream about them doing. Daydreaming is just me cooking shit, and then I'll have to come on the page and be like, yeah, let me show y'all what I'm about, what I'm doing. And so, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think this is done. I don't have to add no more to it. It's got a focal point. It's got its background additives. It has its line weights, of course, and it has words added to it because I love adding words to my sketchbook pages. But also, one more thing to note. Notice in these areas here, the line weight. I at least try to like make them closer, double them up on the lines in areas that are further away from my intended light source. But typically my light source is never like intentional until after. So like I'll make like the bottom portions of certain areas just more thick with lines. It gives it better depth, I guess. But I don't know if you really trust me and my skill. It's your call to make. But that's all. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm glad you stuck with the podcast. I'm glad you stuck for the drawing part after the fact. We'll see y'all later. I'm not gonna hold you too long. You gotta get in the green.
Can't say how I'm feeling inside. I wanna be sealed, but got too much pride. I wanna be sealed, but I'm really here. Don't really like I tell you I tried. I done did everything, get a book cry. I done smoke all my weed, young nigga on fried. You can see all this shit in my eye. If you look in my eye, you can peek in my soul. Half of it